All right, guys, spawning in the top right position of Intuned Valley, our Red Terran player, playing for Team Empire. He's gone for some greedy builds, but solid macro, and it's been paying off really well for him. It's Kos. And in the bottom left position for Team XMG, he's really been favoring his gateway play, and to be honest, it's just not been working out that well for him. It is Monchi. So, Kos taking the last two games pretty handily. Very, very nice. But this is a best of 5. So if Kos takes this game, he's going to get off to a really nice start in his group. And he's also going to get a little bit of a break. Monchi has to play Scarlet after this. This is our first series of the day. So this is by no means the end, guys. We are going to see quite a few more games. We have Scarlet as the other player in this group. Of course, this is the Russian Star League. We have a plethora of players, and the groups are arranged so that there are no mirror matchups. So you guys just tune in, enjoy, and you will have no TVT, PvP, or ZVZ on this day. Kos is going to go for the barracks first build. He's not walling off, so he's not trying to hide any information. So I feel like this is most likely going to be a 1 barracks expand from Kos. Typically, if you were going to take gas, it would be a little bit earlier. You'd want to hide it. But he's not afraid to show that he's going for the fast expand. And this is something that Monchi could abuse. We might see him go for a 1 base play this game. I feel like he needs to go for a more standard, maybe robotics facility opener, and then go for the High Templar that he's been trying to get all this time. It's just not been working out terribly well for him. This probe's going to try to block the SV from building the command center, but there we have that orbital command going down. Meanwhile, Monchi's chrono boosting out some probes. Cybernetic core's on the way. Looks like he had a teensy bit of saturation taken off of his gas, but with that mineral buildup, I feel like he actually took probes off gas to get his Nexus up faster. I think this probe's going to get a Nexus. He's got quite a bit of resources banked up, so it will be a 1 gateway expand unless he just throws down 3 gateways right now, which very, very unlikely. Yep, there's the Nexus for Monchi. So this is looking like it's going to be a little bit more. It's going to be like the Whirlwind game, like when I think about TVP, except it's a smaller map, of course. So this means that it's going to be a little bit easier for things like that 6-gate attack if Monchi decides that he wants to go for something like that again. But Kos now, he's getting his 2 additional barracks. Now he's going to get his gas, and this is a little bit more like standard. He could try to cut the 2nd gas for a little while, which he has not started yet. So if he decides not to get this for a while, that's mostly going to mean he wants to just bank up extra metals and get a 3rd command center again. And Kos, well, he's been getting away with his greed for the most part. 3CC the last 2 games, been working out pretty well for him. And well, robotics facility is going to be on the way for Monchi. I like this decision to not go for the big gateway timing attack. And I feel like this is going to give us a much different game than the one we've been looking at. We're going to get to see his Colossus usage, his micro, and his really late macro game. So he's actually starting this gas before the tech lab begins. Kos just trying to get as many Marines as he can. Possibly going to go for early pressure. He knows about the fast base that was taken, of course, in game number 2. And the Marines are going to move out towards the tower. He's going to have a pretty decent number of them. I just love these unbillable rocks. Very, very fashionable, much more so than the supply depots of yore. And there's the tech lab for Kos. So he's going to get that stim pack upgrade, and you go for the standard bio. And that's what Kos has really been doing. He's been macroing very hard, and he's shown us some really top-notch standard Terran play. So I'm looking forward to see how he's going to take this game number 4. But first observer is out. Is going to be heading over to try to see what exactly Kos is up to. I mean, if he saw that Kos went for something like the fast 3rd command center again, when you have a robotics facility, you can just go for Colossi, go up to like 6-7 gates, and just try to kill your opponent on 2 base with the 2 base Colossus timing, because Vikings come out so late for triple command center builds. But that's not what Kos is going to be doing this game. He won't be as vulnerable. We have that factory starting at a pretty reasonable time, so Medevac should be out in good time. But the Marine pressure stepping up into the natural. This was not spotted. He went by the tower. The observer did not see this. He's going to kill a Zealot or 2. Gets the Sentry. That's really big. If he gets a Stalker, that's even bigger. These units are so expensive. Kos making a very cost-effective fight here. I really like this, and now he's going to kill Probe. Says, you know what, killing that Stalker, I don't want to let you micro. I'm just going to get Probe kills and Cos. A pretty nice trade. He's killed 5 probes this game. Units lost tab, favoring Cos by a pretty good amount for this early in the game. Observer is going to get into Cos's base, but it's not going to see anything out of the ordinary at all. So, okay, he's getting his add-ons now. He's getting the starports, but this is standard Terran play. He hasn't done anything weird this whole match. But first Colossus is on the way from Monchi. He has that robotics bay. No range upgrade just yet, though, so he could be trying to do the double forge transition out of this. He's going to get a fast third instead, and this is going to take away any options he has to go for 2-base play, so most likely the Colossus is going to be used defensively to hold the third base, prevent Cos from doing any damage with the 10-minute timing, and just wants to use the range of the Colossus to just protect himself while he gets his economy going. And Cos is going to start his third command center as well, so he's not too far behind, and there's that Twilight Council that we've been seeing out of Monchi. He doesn't have any forges, so this is going to be a straight-up switch right into Templar, possibly go Blink Stalker Colossus. A little bit of an older strategy. Well, there's the Double Forge coming up as I say that, but the Twilight Council timing, of course, not lining up with that. He most likely just goes straight to Storm after his... Yeah, I think he's just going to go straight to Storm. He's not building another Colossus. He is not getting Colossus range, so he's just going to bank up his gas for the upgrades and then possibly just move into Charge Lot Archon out of this and just get some High Templar to defend. But he's moving out across the field now. He sees the factory leaving. He did not spot the third base, though, so he doesn't know 100% what Cos is doing. Do you see these barracks? Yes, so he knows the Cos is ramping up his production, but he's actually just moving into the core 5 barracks, so it's not anything unusual. Templar Archive is on the way from Monchi, so he will be going for that Storm. Follow-up to his single Colossus. It's kind of like a bait-and-switch tactic. You open with the Colossus, your opponent scouts it, has an idea, oh, okay, well, this is what you want to do. I'm going to make Vikings. I'm not going to die to any kind of weird Colossus timing. And this observer is going to see, hey, man, oh, you're making Vikings now, so that's medevacs that aren't being produced. And with only one Colossus, no range, you don't really even need Vikings to deal with that because Marauders, for a Colossus to attack Marauders, they have to get in range of them. So it's not a huge deal, but he is forcing out Vikings. If Cos, yeah, Cos is continuing Viking production, so this is really nice. He only has 2 medevacs. If he gets into a fight versus this Charge Lot Archon style that he's going to be heading towards, Charge is on the way, the 1-1 is on the way, and we have an Archon on the field, then he could actually take a lot of damage because he won't have medevacs to help him. So this is going to be interesting. I'm really curious to see how Cos is going to handle this push. The 4 Vikings, of course, he should be able to blow that Colossus away. But is he going to be able to handle everything else that Monchi has? Cos has gotten a lot of bio out. He is up by 30 supply just on raw macro, just getting out tons and tons of units. He scans, he sees, oh man, you don't really have that much at all. There's actually not too many force fields available, only 2 sentries. And he's going to throw down some force fields, but the units aren't really ranged enough to actually punish him for being in that position. So not the greatest placement of force fields. Maybe he was trying to box him in and let the Colossus do damage, but... Guardian Shield does get popped. He's warping in more Zealots. Charge is complete. +1 armor is complete, but Cos has +1 attack. And Cos is actually 1-1 now, so he's got a tiny upgrade advantage. He may try to push in now that he has the 4 Vikings. The Observer sees the army, though, so he knows where Cos is trying to push in. Cos finding that +2 attack, also switching right into Ghost, so he is already prepared to take this on. And like I said, his medevac count's really low, so when he does a full stim like this, he's not going to be able to heal it too quickly. The Vikings, however, are kiting backwards. He kills the Colossus, and now Cos looks like he wants to get a little bit more aggressive. Here he goes. He's going to move in. This Charge Lot Archon force really beginning to chase him, but the concussive shells, he's going to be more than enough. And Cos, he's going to retreat, though. And I think that's a good idea. He needs to get back into medevac production. The last thing you want to do is take a fight versus Storm, versus any kind of this splash that you can't deal with Vikings. And you maybe get the Ghost count up, get some more medevacs, and Cos can go for a follow-up push because right now he's ahead. He killed the Colossus. There's no range still. A Warp Prism is being built now, as well as 2-2 for Monchi. He's getting a Dark Shrine, and I think that's more of a, oh man, I think I'm a little bit behind. I don't want to obviously mix Dark Templar into my army, but I think if I go for Harass, I can do a little bit of damage here. I can try to pull myself back in and bring the supply gap closer, because right now it's about a 50 supply difference favoring Cos. He is a monster at macroing. He's been getting ahead in supply just off of producing units the last 4 games. This has been really awesome to see out of Cos. He's not doing anything special at all. He's not even really doing much drop play. he's just building a ton of Marines and Marauders. I like this. He's landing his 4th base at a relatively good time. We have a Warp Prism headed along the left side. It does not have that gravitic drive, so it's not quite as fast as it could be. And this Marine may spot it. Koss, will he react? He could just send his Vikings over to kill it, in all honesty, but this Warp Prism is going to most likely bring in some units to try to harass this 4th base. Planetary Fortress has started, though, so he has a very small window to hit. And, well, there's this Charge Lot Archon army that we've seen time and time again. There are Templar on the bottom side. Drops 1 Storm, does not get anything. The Ghost Step up front. EMP hits all of the High Templar. Now he's going to paint these Zealots, showering them with that EMP. The Archon's actually been clipped quite a bit. They're going to be left in the back. The Bioforces are going to be able to focus them down. There's not really any Sentry energy to stop him. There's no Storms. He hasn't morphed the High Templar that got EMP'd, and Koss is just going to roll on through. There is nothing here that can shut him down. His +2 attack is complete. There's the GG from Monchi. Koss takes this series 3-1. Very well played by our Terran player. And you know what? It wasn't anything special. It was just some really strong macro.